Alright, hello. I found some feedback regarding the altitude. I was just checking this map out after the playtest, and I figured I'd make another feedback video. Apart from the playtest feedback that we usually do, I love this map. I think the map has cool ideas, and with this update, some of those ideas, for example, A long, which I'm gonna touch up on later. Some of those ideas were kind of obstructed in a way that they couldn't be executed, and I think it's really important to realize the good parts of the level and keep refining those until they're like perfect or whatever that even means, and change whatever doesn't work in the level. But yeah, since I touched upon A already, why not we just start with that. So the last playtest, if you go and look back on that, it's obvious to see that the map was a little T-sided, and I don't necessarily have issue with sided maps or whatever. Like, not every map has to be the slightly T-sided Dust 2 or whichever it is these days or whatever. Like, I'm not saying that every map has to be 50-50 on both teams. That would be, in some cases, that's preferable. But in this case, the T-sidedness of the map really doesn't work for the favor of the map. It doesn't work in the favor of the map. And what I mean by that is that it becomes frustrating playing as CT when the terrorist team can literally steamroll you every round by getting small victories here and there, and then getting too much control for the risk that they put themselves in. And CTs, basically, they lose control very easily, and it's really hard to hold off the many choke points that this map has. The problem with A long, I think people remember when there were the double doors. A long was a little bit it was a little bit more narrow for T's to push through and also CTs to push through in that matter, and it was harder to get to as well. I think the current so the A long actually has a lot to do with the T spawn back mid area and how it is laid out. I think it's fundamentally different in that way that the terrorist team can literally just walk up those stairs and be in A long, in which it becomes kind of a main path. As in A main, funnily enough, it's called A main for a reason. Oh, it's actually in the radar as well. Good job, Shady. So A main then in that case has less importance, and in my opinion got kind of overshadowed by the heaven in this iteration of the level. The way it was before, there was used to be a ladder here. This back area didn't exist, and the only way you would comfortably get to heaven, or A long, or alley as it's called here, was to peek or expose yourself to this mid angle, or take the annoying ladder, which you can't really rush 5 players like back to back to back, because there will be some players who will always get a little bit stuck on it, and it's kind of awkward to travel. But that is actually a big reason why A long was more balanced towards CTs. In this playtest, we didn't really see counter-terrorists taking their time in the early round to push up here. This is actually, it's kind of underwhelming in the, or it's hard to notice, but when you get here and T's are trying to clear you out from the main side of things, it's really hard. And Shady made even these little cubbies like this behind this box and this box to make it a little bit more complex. And I think this plays against the terrorists, or plays in the favor of CTs trying to hold whoever's on the bomb side. So, you know, or as a T attacking, this pacifies them in a way that it's like, you know, they have adequate cover to fight against the CT heaven. But yeah, in that way, it has to be the access to the heaven or A-long or alley has to be kind of balanced in the sense that it's equally as hard to get to, in my opinion, to make this more fun and balanced for both teams. Then when we get to main, I think T's have a hell of a lot of more like they have more fun times when they're trying to push to through main than CTs have fun time holding it. I think if this was made a little bit smaller, so this corner would be literally moved to here like this, and then the box would be moved here, and then you could even do like a little cutaway into the wall. So you have all of this wall that you could cut into. You could even make it like curve a little bit more into the wall. What that does, it makes this alleyway into a more substantial choke point. For example, right now, you can smoke it from multiple spots, but I think making it even deeper for, like, making this curve, this U shape, making it even deeper there would mean that it could be segmented better. So a deep main smoke could be smoked here, and the second one, kind of a more passive smoke for CTs, could be here. But then there would be more space for terrorists to actually get into this area in between, and they could have more fun trying to take the main. And also it would mean that it would be a little further away from the bomb site as well. Also the closed nature, the distance that the bomb site is from the main plant means that the main plant, which is actually the safest plant to do right now, is always to go to, and the retreating back to main is the best thing to do every round. So it becomes literally like a vertigo. Push to A site, plant in the same spot, and get back to ramp to abuse the headshot angles against the already kind of headshot angle-y heaven. Yeah, so less of vertigo, more of passage, and yeah, you have to balance it in a delicate way. And I think this is very close to good, but I think it's very easy for one tactic to be dominating the whole bomb site. Oh, also here is a very strong planting area, which is exposed to main. Then a little more about the usage of space here. It's a little criticism. You could make this stairs take a little bit less space. I do want for this to be a thing. There we go. Okay, yeah. I'll just edit it to look like I made it on the first try. Legit. Okay, then moving on to the mid part. I don't have much criticism about mid. There's only this angle. This here. So this corner needs to be exposed to this corner. Oh, it's not even solid. What the hell? It's not a big fix, but literally, if this box could be moved a little bit, like by this much back, it would affect the angle being a little bit more clear. The same thing goes for this angle as well. I know oh yeah, actually, to be fair, a CT could be holding from this corner, and I want for my T-side player to be able to comfortably peek this window, like this corner as well. So a little bit of fixing here, but it's the matter of cutting away this corner here. Or you could push the arch a little bit closer. The one thing I think also, like, conservative use of space, or like, how could I phrase this better? Okay, so I guess better way for here to use the tough material, like such as stone or concrete. You don't have to use this thick of a block here. You can make it the half of the width, and then push it a little bit more back, since I think the garden area is already kind of a strong spot to push out of. So I think it could be made a little bit in the back. Here is also another thing that I think you should change, is make the garden a little bit higher, just so this fight, so from here, if you're behind the wall, you peek from garden, you are more exposed to this angle over here. Right now it's kind of a iffy headshot angle, and CTs really don't have the ability to headshot angle as strongly, so it's always a T-sided fight here, I think. At one point, I remember we were talking about making this wooden, or like this part here wooden. I think that could be kind of a fun thing, and it would help also against playing, like, you know, just wallbanging in this corner would be a little bit more of a pleasure, in my opinion, through changing the material. I touched upon the making this into an actual choke point, or like making the reward of getting this lower mid part. Right now, as a T, if you were to like 5-man this, you would get to CT spawn. Let's say you get the like lose a player, but get the mid pick, like mid upper pick, and you're a 5 echoing P250 wielding terrorists, like water falling down mid. My issue is here that you kill the dude, whatever, you get the AWP, you're pushing through the CT. So just from this area alone, you get the ability to flank A, you get the ability to flank this position, which is like the main holding positions for A bomb site for CTs. You get one more extra entrance to B through this lower, and then you have the ability to flank B as well. So it's like you can see the drastic amount of control you get over this like simple area to push, and it's guaranteed that there will be always at least one. We saw some double mid, or actually some triple mid setups in the last game on when we were on CT side as well. But I don't necessarily think that that's that much fun to hold mid with 3 people when it's supposed to be 2B, 2A, 1 mid, preferably how this map is set up. But you have to have 2 mid at least. I went a little bit on a little tangent there, but getting back to the point. So making this a little bit more narrow, making it an actual like a death alley, and then making a squeaky door in the middle, so you have to take like a knowing risk of pushing it up, opening the squeaky, and then pushing through and making like tons of noise in the doing of. And that segues us nicely to B bomb site. I think this bridge position with these walls, how it's laid up, it could be cleaned up a little bit. So I think these walls could be removed. The wall, the bridge could be made into a wooden one, and the most controversial thing of removing this box. I felt as a CT it was super annoying to play against this. I would like Molotov this, and then what the Molotov literally does is just for how many seconds, like 8 seconds that it burns or whatever, it would delay the terrorists from pushing this, and then they would be out of danger already. Like they would get this choke point free here. The only real danger there is this angle, but then again you made it super easy for terrorists to actually, oh my bad. I swear there's kind of a smoke that you can deploy kind of easily. I guess it's not possible, but yeah. Yeah, so this angle is really easy to... I was trying to get the smoke to land here. Anyway, so this angle and that threat is very easy to nullify, so that it means you get this area for free, which is right outside the bomb site, where the main focus of the B take is supposed to happen. Then of course there's this smoke, which is like, you know, you can literally just lob it over, and that's that. And also you have the door here, which is currently, I think, if you were to open this main up, I think the door's position would become a little bit redundant, or it wouldn't make sense anymore to be there. So my suggestion is to lean more heavily onto the longifying of this choke point. Like make this choke point play so well that you don't need this. That is, make it more tactically involved, so that you have, like, for example, like this smoke to deploy, and then this smoke to deploy, and then the only real danger is pushing, like getting over this, and then, you know, clearing all the spots and flanking and whatever. I really don't think that in its current iteration this door really works in its place. I guess you could. What could be kind of interesting to would be to like move it here and keep the one-way open door mechanic that you could open it from here. This might be actually like kind of a bad idea. But keep the idea of opening the door through here, so it would literally get another rotating point. I guess the door could also work here, which is as a T. As a CT you couldn't rush it, but as a T you were here and you would open it to allow the T's to rotate quickly through the mid back to A. That is something to think about. When it comes to B-bomb site, I think this tower could be pushed a little bit back. You see all of this space, and you actually have quite a lot of space to move the tower to there without ruining any timings or whatever, so it's free real estate. And then moving these stairs, this set of stairs, you could move by at least like 80 or 64 units to that direction. With this wall, this wall you would have to stretch to be here, but these stairs you could move until here, and then they would start from here. What that does, it gives the B-bombs a little bit more space to play on for CTs, and I think, you know, that leaves, you know, that gets closer to the perfect balance between too much and too little of space. I think right now smoke grenades, they take too much space in the bomb site, and quite literally, I know I use literally quite a lot, but it's true. You know, 2 smokes can cover. I'm waiting for this to dissipate. 2 smokes can cover almost the entirety of the bomb site, so that's kind of an interesting thing. And then the fire, like the gunfights on the bomb site, just become this smoke spam thing, and you know, in that position, bullets are gonna fly past, and there's gonna be a terrorist planting in there, and it's gonna be this whole mess. But yeah, I think this angle is interesting. It's a super long angle, and there's like it could be argued that there's a issue with headshot angles, but I kind of like it, since it's there's like this thing has a beautiful risk reward. You know, the risk is here. You're giving up control over the bomb site, but you're getting, you know, you're getting more cover out of the position, and that is really risky, because you can get smoked very easily from there. And then what can you do? You can rotate here, but then that's, you know, there's already gonna be a terrorist here waiting for your stupid ass to rotate here, and you know, you're kind of fucked. So yeah, but the map has interesting ideas, and I think that these ideas can be, like, you know, this was the 5th playtest that we did. You know, and who's to say that maps are never done, or projects are ever finished? But I think that this map still can be worked on. These ideas can still be put to work, put onto the crafting table, and you could actually make something. All of these spots work even better that they do now, and you know, you've already nailed the most important thing about levels, in my opinion, which is fun. And this level is definitely fun, but it might be not as fun when it is only fun for one team. That is the terrorist team in this respect here. I think that's gonna be it for this video. I'm gonna do more of these kind of random feedback things for other maps as well. If we get more of maps that are like, or that have been playtested multiple times or have like super long history of development, such as this map, you know, you tend to get like super invested into these levels, and it's really lovely to see them develop. And it's really nice to talk to the map makers, and it's really nice to speculate on how a thing would work in the level, and then getting it into the level, and then seeing it how it works, and then being like, oh, it didn't come out at all as I thought, and in some occasions it does turn out exactly how you want it for it to be, or how you speculated. So but yeah, I think this is gonna be, this map with those little fixes is gonna be a beautiful thing to play. And yeah, I guess until the next playtest.